CustomTacticals.com here, and today the knife I'm reviewing is the Benchmade 755 Sibert. This is a custom designed by Shane Sibert. You can see his logo over there. This is a chunky knife, very cool construction, done with Bowler M390 steel is marked on the blade here. Bowler is an Austrian steel company. This is a cutlery grade steel designed specifically for making knife blades. So very nice steel here. I'm actually quite impressed with the steel overall. Benchmade's, this is something that I guess a few people might not agree with me on, but I've always found that Benchmade's knives, while quite serviceably sharp, are not shaving sharp, and maybe they do that intentionally because they don't want such a fine edge on them. But I'm of the belief that knives should come shaving sharp in the box, and Spyderco's do, Benchmade's don't. Even Kershaw's do, so I don't know why. And you can tell when you're looking at the blade, it's a slightly rougher sharpening finish on it, whereas you'll see Spyderco's have a slightly more polished edge on them, and so, but still it cuts paper like perfectly fine. So it's really a sort of a negligible difference, but they don't come as sharp in my opinion. G10 handles on this side, and a small insert here, as you can see. Let me zoom it up so you can take a look there. Blasted titanium, nice custom Sibert style pocket clip that is non-adjustable. It goes there and only there, so you'd have to tap new holes, drill and tap over here if you want tip up, over here for lefty. But it's a nice looking pocket clip, and this frame lock, or bolster lock if you want to call it that, is quite interesting. It has a little bit of metal sticking up there, so I guess it can't go past a certain point. One problem I had with this knife right when I got it, and I bought it new, is that when the pivot wasn't screwed in as tightly, when I pushed on the blade, let's zoom out a little bit here. When I pushed on the blade, I could actually feel it slightly disengaging the lock and separating from the backstop here. So the stop pin, there was a space, so I could, when I pushed on it, I could feel the blade actually moving. And it wasn't that the blade wasn't in there, it was the lock was actually giving away slightly to the blade, and I thought that was really strange. And I'm not sure if it's because the lock itself is moving, or if it's slightly shifting off the surface of the tang there. But looking at it closely with a flashlight and stuff like that, I'm noticing excuse me, that the engagement point between the lock and the tang of the knife isn't ideal. It's only got a tiny bit of contact, instead of the whole face contacting the tang like you would see on, say, like a Sebenza. Sebenzas tend to have a very strong engagement of the lock. When the two surfaces touch, they really wedge right in there. Whereas this one, when I move this lock, it feels like there's nothing, like it just moves. I don't feel any friction between the blade and the blade tang and the lock face. When I move it, it just sort of moves, right? And even now, after tightening it, I can feel a little bit. So I don't know how well the design is for this knife. Maybe I got a dud, but I did read on a forum somebody else had a similar experience with the Sibert. I'm not trying to trash it. It's I think, in my opinion, this is one of the most beautifully crafted Benchmade knives in a long time. I really like the mini onslaught as well, but it's been a while since I've seen like a frame lock or a liner lock from Benchmade that I really like. This is the first one in quite a while. Unfortunately, I'm not too happy about the way the lock engages. It might be something that could be worked out afterwards. for a lot of people, this is probably a novelty knife and not a carry knife. I personally really like the shape of it for carry. I think it's a great size, a little bit stubbier, but a wide blade. That's the kind of knives that I like to carry personally. Got a good grip, fantastic design. One thing I do find a little awkward about this is I feel like the choil for the finger here is a little bit far back from where the jimping is on the fingers, so I feel like my grip is, like, I would rather more hold it like this as opposed to like this, because I feel like the positioning is a bit awkward. This thing maybe should be shifted slightly forward, maybe to the edge of this, just so I can get a little, choke up a little bit more on the blade. That would be ideal for me, because this is a little bit, I feel like the blade's a little bit far from me and I don't have quite as much control as I'd like, but otherwise quite good. Holds in reverse too, quite well if you like it. It's got some jimping here. I know some of those guys out there really like their jimping. I mean, I appreciate it, but if you know, you can always add your own jimping if you need it. Otherwise, quite a nice knife. Benchmade 755 Sibert. Hope you guys enjoy the review.